Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, March the 5th. I am in Pueblo, Colorado, about to go deliver this beast here. We're gonna go get rid of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out for a 40 Ford. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So we're gonna get that taken care of, and then we're gonna beeline it back to Las Vegas, Nevada. Not New Mexico, Nevada. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have anything else to pick up on the way home, so this is just gonna be a straight shot. I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way home to Vegas tonight. That was a rough 16 hours out here. It was gonna be 16 hours back home, and it's gonna be probably 11:30 before I hit the road. So that's, you know, it's gonna get me home in the morning. I think I might just stop somewhere, one of the truck stops or something, and get a few hours rest. So yeah, I was never able to get a weight on this thing at the scale. However, you know, if you Google it, I think it's like 3265 or 3200 is what a stock one is. Now this one obviously isn't stock. It's missing all the windows, it's missing the glass, it's missing the interior, it's missing a whole bunch of stuff. But it is subbed out with a V8 instead of a 6-cylinder, which came from factory. So, and it does have all the bumpers and the grille and all that stuff inside here. But I'm gonna probably peg this, we're gonna say is right around 3,000 pounds. Is what we're gonna say, because the motor adds a couple hundred pounds versus the 6, but we're missing a few hundred pounds of stuff. So we'll call it 3,000. Let's just say it was around there. So I'll see if I can get a weight on the 40 Ford on the way home. I'm thinking that's gonna be right around the same weight. So we'll see how that affects my mileage. My overall mileage from Las Vegas to Pueblo, Colorado, I'm just gonna call it that the average miles per gallon towing the 3,000 pounds with the 1,850 pound trailer, so we're towing like 4,850, let's just say 4,900 pounds behind my truck, was 15 miles per gallon. So my total distance that I drove was 927.4. Gotta remember the 0.4. So 927.5 miles is from my house to this. I've got to go another, it'll be 930 by I'm done. I got to go 3 miles down the road to deliver it, so we'll just call it 930. And I did that in 14 hours and, well, drive time, because don't forget the truck was off for probably, with all my stops, I'm going to add it up to be about an hour turned off. That's being generous, but an hour turned off. So I made that trip in about, I'm going to say 15 and a half hours. That's what the clock is saying. So not bad. 15 and a half hours of straight driving. You know, with gas stops in between. So yeah, that was a long drive, and I get to do it again today. So now let's get hauling. Okay, super noisy right now, but here's our ride home. So this is what I came out here to pick up. It's a 40 Ford. This one's all kind of nice. It's got a custom tube frame and everything underneath it. Small block. Got it positioned the same. It's balanced about the same, and the weight, it actually feels a little lighter than the panel. So we'll see how it does on the gas mileage. It doesn't have as high a profile as the panel did, so let's see how we do on gas mileage going home. Okay, obviously it's way too noisy on the street there to try to do any recordings. So you see what I picked up, really nice 40 Ford. It's gonna be a nice ride when somebody gets it done. Tubular chassis, the whole works, small block V8, 9-inch Ford rear end, all the typical hot rod stuff. So I'll just see what it's like going home for the gas mileage. I've got everything reset like I did at the hotel. I reset everything before I left. It's all strapped down, it's secure, I'm ready to roll, so let's get hauling. Okay, so I stopped here at this TA Express. It's a Phillips 66. I needed to fill up. I need to get some coffee, get prepped for the road. Hopefully my next stop will be Albuquerque at that same Flying J that I stopped last night. I knew I wasn't going to make it on the fuel I had, so I had to top up the fuel. So this fill up was $49, and this should take me all the way to the Flying J in Albuquerque, which is my next stop. Beautiful day for driving, as you can see by the footage. So let's get hauling. Okay, as you can see, I've made it back to Albuquerque now. I'm at the Flying J, and I'm going to top up the tank because the low fuel light came on. That was a hard run down. I only got just down here on the bottom. It just kicked back up again. I was only getting about 12 miles to the gallon on the ride down. It was pretty rough. A lot of headwind. The headwind was brutal this time, and I didn't realize how much I was going kind of like downhill in the high desert getting to Pueblo. I would have thought I would have been climbing, but it was a lot of climbing coming out. So yeah, it was rough on the fuel mileage, that's for sure. So I'm gonna get the tank topped up, grab a coffee, maybe a little snack, and push on so that I can drive with the sun in my face all the way until it goes down. Yay. Isn't it fun going west in the afternoon? Okay, I got some fresh coffee, and the tank has been filled up. That was $59 to fill that up. I cleaned the windshield off, cleaned the inside of the window, hopefully, so I don't have any streakies. Oh, and I cleaned my sunglasses too, because I gotta fight that sun until it goes down. So I got a couple more hours of fun driving in the sun. All right, rest stop's over. Let's get hauling. Okay, so I'm at the Flying J here in Kingman, Arizona. I just want to show you the car's been holding up just fine on the trailer here. Truck's been holding up just fine. Threw another $35 worth of gas in the tank, and that's got us topped up. Could have made it all the way home with what was in the tank, but again, trying to save, you know, probably about 45 cents a gallon by topping up here just before I go across. So might as well take advantage of that. Go ahead and save where we can, and should be home in about an hour and 45 minutes. And it's been really nice and flattened out and straightened up, and gas mileage right now is running about 15.7. so with the adjustment, I'm gonna say it's around 15.5. That's good. So and this car is definitely lighter than the panel, or it's a lower profile or something, because I barely feel that it's back there. So I'm thinking it's probably at least 500 pounds lighter and a lower profile, so it's not getting hit by the wind on the 40 like I was getting with that panel van. So yeah, sometimes it's like, until I go over a bump or I go over an expansion on a bridge, it's like, oh yeah, I have a trailer back there, because it's just towing so good. I just don't feel anything. So knock on wood that the rest of the trip goes well. So all right, let's get hauling. 10 to 2 in the morning. I am now home in Vegas. I drove straight through from Pueblo, Colorado. So our drive time was 14 and a half hours. I'm going to probably throw maybe only a half an hour for gas stops because basically I just went pee, got coffee, and got gas, and I was back out on the road. No long stops this time. So, and my total distance driven was 932 miles, and I averaged about 15 miles per gallon on the way home. It was a little sketchy when I left Pueblo. It was like only around 10 or 11 because of the high winds. Then I got out after Albuquerque. It really pulled up. I was up in like 16.4. It was doing really good. And then once you get past Flagstaff, you start going up and down the hills through Arizona there when you're going across. And yeah, that wasn't so hot. That dropped back down, and then it leveled back up to 15 when I got into Vegas. So yeah, so that's where we're at on that. And I'm glad to be home. I'll go deliver this car tomorrow. I already got paid for this job when I delivered the panel in Pueblo. But I'll put it on the end of the video tomorrow once we're done. And I've still got one more top up of fuel to do when I get up into the north end so that I can get my total fuel cost, and I'll put it all in the video in the end. With that, we're done hauling. Good night. Catch you in the morning to wrap this one up. Well, good morning. It is Friday, March the 6th, and it's about 11 o'clock. Time to go get rid of this beast. Gonna make my delivery uptown. I actually have to pick up another item while I'm up that way as well. It's going up to Corvallis, Oregon when I leave on Sunday, so that works out okay. I'm gonna be uptown. I can go ahead and drop the car off and pick up another item. Busy. All right, let's get hauling. All right, that's going to wrap up this vlog with the cars to Pueblo and back. I am in town here picking up another item, but that'll be for another vlog. I didn't go ahead and fill up the gas. I'm over 3/4, so it might have taken like about 15, 18 bucks to fill the tank. So I'm just going to call it 20. We'll call it good at 20 for the extra fuel for a topped up tank like when I left Vegas. So I'll add that in the numbers. I still got to come back and I'll shoot one more shot. Whew, sorry, sweaty. It's 80 degrees here in Vegas, and I just came from 30 degrees in Colorado. So yeah, it's a big swing and change, and that happens when you're driving. 8 hours later you could be up 40, 50 degrees. So but anyways, I'll come back in and I'll go ahead and edit one more clip in where I will do my total expenses for the trip to give you guys an idea of what I made on this trip, and that'll do it. So for now, let's get back to hauling. Let's go get this other piece that's got to go to Oregon. Okay, just to put a wrap on this Las Vegas to Pueblo and Pueblo back to Las Vegas, doing the car swap for a customer of mine. So leaving Las Vegas to Pueblo, I used $130 worth of fuel. And then on the way back, I actually used $150 worth of fuel doing the soft factor of the last $20. So even if I was off, we could say 145, but let's just say the 150. What's interesting to note is that the panel van was taller and probably a few hundred pounds heavier than the Ford. I was going to say at least 500 pounds heavier. And yet I used less gas going out there. And I did find that coming back from Pueblo, I was climbing more than I thought I was. I was actually going downhill a lot. Going into Pueblo, coming out, I was climbing the hills a lot. Also, because the car was about 500 pounds lighter, I wasn't trying to slow down going up the hills like I was with the panel. The panel, I would slow down to 55 going up the hills, trying to conserve on the revs and conserve on the fuel going out. So therefore, I was using a little less RPMs. And don't forget, I also mentioned that I had a killer headwind coming out of Pueblo as well. The wind was really bad, so that hurt my gas mileage, as I noted in the vlog. Also, because the car was about 500 pounds lighter, and I didn't even really know it was back there. That's how well it was towing. I left the cruise set at 65 up and down the hills, so I burned a little more fuel going up and down the hills. So that's probably why I used a little bit more fuel coming back and forth. So we'll just call it $280 worth of fuel. I also stayed for a night at the hotel. That was $90, so that was $370. And then I also I figured out that I spent about $30 between coffee and snacks because I didn't really eat. And I had a really good breakfast at the hotel in the morning. That was my meal. So it was about $30 is what I figure on food and coffee. So basically $400 in expenses for a 2-day trip. And that's pretty good. Now, I got paid $1,700 to do the job. And then I also got a $100 tip. So it was really $1,800. So $400 in expenses. That was $1,400 for 2 days worth of work, driving out there and driving back. All right, I hope you guys like this. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just drop them down in the comments. And also make sure that you're sub. Maybe share it out there. I can't seem to break 12 subscribers. And hit your notifications as well. That way you'll know when the next video drops. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. And until next time, keep hauling.